Jesse, obviously it's a tough night for the team. This was a hard-fought case. You guys were set up to fail. Let's be honest. You couldn't have been more set up to fail than with this case, with the venue, with the judge. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, the judge was very clear from the beginning that he was going to ensure a conviction against Donald Trump.
Right.
He made that clear from the scheduling for the trial. He made that clear from the selection of jurors, making sure that any fair-minded juror was excluded from the jury panel. He made it clear when he conducted the trial and let Stormy Daniels say whatever she wanted from the witness stand, and then the minute Bob Costello said anything he didn't like, he read him the Riot Act. He made it very clear from the jury instructions when he just said it was too confusing to properly instruct the jury on the law, and that they didn't need to be unanimous on an underlying crime, which was absolutely preposterous. This judge was out from the beginning to get Donald Trump. He brought, Marxism to America through this show trial, through this kangaroo court. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that the president's legal team in this case did a masterful job. It could have been a masterclass on trial advocacy from Todd Blanche.
Right. How about Bragg coming out there to brag about his victory and putting Colangelo right next to him? And talking about how wonderful and how credible the team were. What did you make of that?
Yeah, that's right. Let's remember that Michael Colangelo is somebody whose name Donald Trump can't mention without going to prison, right? But Alvin Bragg puts him front and center at a press conference, just taunting the fact that he has also taken and attacked the First Amendment to the United States Constitution by, making it so that the leading candidate for president of the United States can't talk about one of his employees. And he puts him right up there on the stage like that, a man who left not only the Biden Justice Department, but left his consulting gig with the Democratic National Committee a few years ago as well to go and prosecute his political opponent. That is not the way our justice system is supposed to work. We are supposed to pursue crimes, not individuals. And Michael Colangelo was very clear in moving from the United States Justice Department, the most big and powerful law firm in the world is what they're very proud about, to go to a county district attorney's office and pursue a political opponent. It was disgusting that Alvin Bragg did this today. And Judge Merchan, the fact he signed on to that gag order should be very ashamed of himself.
I want to play a soundbite here for you really quick. It's interesting. It's from one of the establishment networks. Take a listen to this.
Yeah, a couple of things did stand out to me. One was that there were a couple of places in the jury instructions where the judge actually pointed the jury to specific pieces of evidence and said, these are pieces of evidence you can consider, for example, in trying to determine whether there were falsified business records. You can look at these bank records. You can look at these invoices. That was a surprise to me because generally jury instructions don't include references to specific pieces of evidence.
Usually jury instructions don't. I mean, it sounds like, I wasn't in the courtroom, but it sounds like he was saying, hey, jury, just keep in mind this soundbite was really strong. If you're looking for a reason to convict, look at this over here and this over here. Don't forget about those. It sounds like that was the behavior of the judge.
Oh, that's exactly what he was doing with those jury instructions. But it's absolutely improper that he mentioned those specific pieces of evidence to lead the jury to the result that he wanted. But let's add that into the fact that, for instance, he also refused to tell the jury, to properly instruct the jury, that any offense must be willful, which is a standard jury instruction for an offense like this. Yeah. And let's also remember that he had them decide matters of federal campaign finance law without properly instructing on them, or let them hear from a leading expert on federal campaign finance law, the former chairman of the Federal Election Commission, who was going to explain that none of the prosecution's allegations could have possibly amounted to a violation of federal election law. This judge all along was giving the jury no way out other than a conviction. And he, from the beginning of jury selection to make sure that anybody who could have been fair was nowhere near this jury panel, excluding Trump supporters while not taking any efforts to exclude Biden supporters, Schumer supporters, et cetera.